Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Galactic Civilizations 4. Last episode, we made the very ambitious goal of trying to conquer my entire sector. However, we have become the greatest power in my sector. Not quite the conquest, but we did make progress, and we are continuing to make progress. I think the biggest thing that we need to do is to try to refill our coffers a little bit so that we can actually make some cash. And try to stabilize and actually build a reasonable economy. My economy is a little bit wacky because, man, how do I even begin to explain this? My economy is wacky because I don't make enough money and I don't make enough science. I've been so hyper-focused on production and trying to stay alive by military production. I need to specialize my cities a little bit more. I also need to, what is it called again? There's a button I'm looking for here. I think it's the leader button. Yeah, I have multiple planets that I can put governors on, but I need to find people with high loyalty. Like this guy right here, Richie McKitt. I will make him the governor of, I don't know, Delta Ceti 1. We're slowly building up a repertoire of cities, of abilities, of all that sort of stuff. It is all happening. Now, I believe we were also in the process of constructing a new flagship. And we do in fact have our flagship right here. And this flagship is going to want support ships. I'm thinking like, maybe if we go a cruiser support ship, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new version of the flagship here. It will be just a regular cruiser. I'm going to take, oh, wait a minute. What did I call my ship again? No, that's the Enforcer. What did I call my... the Instigator. So I want to make a new design using the Instigator as a base design. Sorry, I got a little bit confused there, but instead it's going to be just a basic cruiser. I'm going to take off the flag module and I'm going to take off the defensive modules as well. Instead, I would like this to have a slipstream accelerator because it's a support ship and its job is to have extra fleet moves and some extra fleet sensor range. Sensor radius is currently 4. If I add a subspace sensor, that's 3 mass for 4 sensor range. Oh, they get expensive though. Okay. So this is way more mass efficient, this thing, but it's a lot more expensive. But it does increase the sensor range by a heck of a lot more. This gives +6 sensor range. Can you add multiples? Oh yeah, you can. The goal of this ship is to provide extremely powerful scouting information to the fleet and also the +1 move from the slipstream accelerator. I think just having a single particle beam weapon on this ship is fine. It's extremely expensive. Maybe this is overkill. So I might actually trim this back and instead just put regular subspace sensors on. They're less than half the cost and they provide about half the benefit. A sensor range of 20 is plenty. That's plenty of range. And it only costs 400 construction costs, so it'll only take like 2 turns. And it's not that expensive if I lose it. It still has a weapon to defend itself. It has the slipstream accelerator to give the fleet +1 move. This will be the Chariot M0 class. We will be producing 1 chariot to work with my fleet. I'm going to have a look and see if maybe I can upgrade the B frigate, or maybe it's the L frigate that I want to upgrade. I don't think we have any upgrades to this design. So I'm going to add 2 L frigates to this fleet with 2 interceptors, but I'll pull those interceptors from elsewhere. And then that's going to be the fleet that I use to scout. You see all these like little white particles here? These are anomalies that my precursor survey ship should have been exploring, but it got caught up in like, police duty fighting and then got killed, unfortunately. We can start adding perimeter scanners though. This will increase the sensor power, which should in theory increase the sensor radius of a lot of these. Also, the mining headquarters is gotta be a thing. So I'm just gonna go through the management down here on the right. I'm gonna go through all of the mining star bases. We spent all of our modules, so these mining bases are going to be mining more and more. It looks like the Altarian Republic would like to make a trade deal with us. They're going to offer us hyperwave radio and cultural influence. They simply want our... I'm going to accept this deal. And those 2 techs will potentially be very useful. So this is a Delta Ceti 1, the planet that I just assimilated. It's in our boreal world, so it has relatively good fertility. Let's take a look at the world and what's nearby. Let's redirect at least the nearby resources to it. It does have a shipyard. Let's immediately build a constructor for the purpose of building an economic starbase here. This is a mining starbase that's mining the thulium right there. I'm noticing a lot of productivity. I see a military capability over here. There's a planetary generator. Definitely, if I'm going to build my starport here, I think it would be good to surround this in productivity improvements, like for example the supply depot. So I'm probably going to start moving those over there. First things first, let's get the starport down. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of Baratech pops here, so I am going to need to bring over one of my Drengen pops, and we'll have to find a planet to store these pops on so they can get out of my way. But we do have ways and means, and we do have plans. It's all starting to come together. Now, how would I specialize this planet is a great question. What are the base yields here? I'm seeing decent production, okay tech, decent money, really good food. This could be a great spot for me to build a very basic level of productivity and then focus on finance. I'm going to see how I feel about that. I might move the colony world capital. We're going to at least build the good starport stuff so that we get good manufacturing baseline and good ship production baseline. There is a decent amount of tourism potential on this world, which does translate into income. So this might be a tourism/income world. We'll get around to that. We do have another policy available here. We can ban dissent, which increases approval. Coerced colonization, we can do conscription, cultural values. We can get +1 base research. I don't think that really matters. Ooh, prototype defenses would make all of our ships a lot harder to kill. I really like prototype defenses. We're very much so focused on having really strong military. That feels very right to me. And so that is what we're going to focus on. Another planet for us to conquer. I've got a fleet of 3 Ravagers that I can send to go damage enemy infrastructure. My probes have been hard at work finding where enemy stuff is. Let's go blow up that starbase. Probably won't immediately attack it. We'll beam it down for a while. And I don't really particularly care if they kill my probes because they're extremely cheap and they were mostly sent out to figure out what the world looks like. So taking a look at the planet of Septrum, we're a little bit overpopped, which is fine. It's still working its way through its production queue. We do have the capability of doing stuff here. I think I'm going to get a invasion ship real quick. Grab myself an intruder so that I can invade this pirate planet here. Now, how do I change? I haven't turned Polaris into a main planet yet. We're also quite low on monthly income, so let's go ahead and pop in here. We can sell a point of Durantium. Illyrium is quite cheap, so it looks like Durantium is the resource to sell here. I'm just going to sell everything that I have. That is of a reasonable price. We're losing 35 cash per turn, which is tough to deal with, but I think we'll manage. With the amount of strategic resources that we're pulling in, I think we're going to be okay. So we have a mining starbase here. You're doing a little bit of probing, keep probing. We're going to need a lot of intruder ships. We're still mass producing intruders. Well, I say mass producing. We're still producing intruders from over here. We've officially depopulated the Baratek from Arbaku, which means we no longer have to deal with their negative effects on our population. Sector scanners, we can now get better scanning capabilities. Our science is getting better. Ooh, the medical center is interesting. So let me have a look at this. This is a growth building that costs a lot of Durantium, but it does give a lot of growth capabilities. Let's go ahead and start researching some weapon tech. I think railguns is fine. I'm going to mass produce supply ships from Arbaku, and then I'm going to rally those into Arbaku itself. Because this planet needs to be retooled, it's finally in a place where I can start to rework it. I can finally start to redesign this as an actual science planet. Now, to make that work, I am going to need as much production as possible, so I am going to strip away these guys as being anything but production for now, but that will eventually change. When it comes to Septrum, I would also like to finish this planet's construction queue pretty quick. So I'm going to mass produce supply ships as well in here and set the rally point from this production yard to Septrum itself. So it's basically using its production to feed itself. And the idea there is that we'll be able to push our way through this production queue really, really quick. And then this planet will be able to contribute to production at some point of the military fleets. I need to build up, I'm just emphasizing just building up my economy just a little bit because I have been heavily neglecting my economy in favor of building a military. And I feel like I'm in a position where I can focus a little bit on the economic side of things. So for Septrum, I am going to go ahead and place a economic starbase, and the eventual idea would be to build this up quite a bit, but that will be something we get to. Also, out of curiosity, we can go for Big Brother now. So dissent is almost non-existent. Expectations will be lowered by citizens, and we also get coordinated travel. Now, I don't know what coordinated travel does, but if I search in the tech tree for coordinated travel, oh wow, it gives us +1 move and 0.25 move cost inside our territory. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I don't know what purpose I should make a starbase here for. I guess a military starbase does make sense to protect the local area. We already have a mining base. Let's have a look here. So a cruiser hull ship is attacking us. And it is very scary, but I don't think we should lose this. Oh, it does have really strong shields and really strong kinetic attack. I think that will shred us. Oh wow, we killed it. Nice. Didn't even take that much damage. All right, fine. Sounds great. I'm gonna go ahead and destroy this farm. Boom. That halved the food production of this place. Maybe I should put it back. I regret my choice, but I'm gonna start moving over my production. Well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna destroy this improvement. I'm going to destroy the starport. I'm going to move the starport to here. We're gonna move the supply depot to here. That way this starport gets massive amounts of levels. I'm going to destroy these two. This is +3 to population. I should really move my capital over there. Let's destroy the capital and replace it right there. We'll destroy the surveillance center and move it right there. This is starting to look a little bit more compact and a little bit more reasonable, like things are getting actual levels. I'm also going to destroy this because I don't think it does much. I'm going to destroy this and I'm going to put my colonial hospital right there so that it buffs both of these two tiles. don't need the financial district. We're just kind of, I'm clearing out stuff as I need, but soon this whole area will be just carpeted in sciencey stuff. So I think the planetary mainframe can go right there. I can put the coordination beacon in the corner. We're not going to be building a stellar forge. We're going for a basic base level of production in here. The capital mainframe will probably be moved, but this is a civilization achievement. I think I can rebuild it though if I put it right there. I think the game will allow me. And then there's going to be a strip of just tons of stuff there. So I'm going to put a little housing district there. That'll give us a little bit of population capacity. Looking quite good. So we've got a food sector. We've got a production sector. We will have a couple of small manufacturing districts. I'm going to prioritize the manufacturing districts. The production is important. Let's pull all of the actual production stuff to the front of the queue. So like the supply depot, the manufacturing district, the starport, and the surveillance center also gives a very small amount of production. Then we'll get the food back online. No, then we'll get the population growth going. Then we'll get the food back online. Then we'll get the science started. And then we'll get the housing. So let's see where it stands there. Combination of supply ships providing production and the fact that we should be building up this city's productivity. I will probably need to find somewhere to put a little bit of happiness buildings because research is heavily affected by approval. But that's going to be after we build up all this basic infrastructure. That was me planning a planet, and hopefully I don't know if I actually explained why I was doing the things that I did, but you got to see the things that I did. And that should be good enough for you, plebes. I don't know how I managed to build 2 instigators. I'm very, very confused by that. I'm not going to question it. I mean, the game isn't perfect, right? It's going to have some weirdness going on. Ooh, we got a caged monster. So we've got a dimensional snare that will spawn a minor space monster. Well, there you go. I just spawned a monster inside their territory, and I hope they like it. Nice. We just unlocked the next tier of railgun, which will make our small fighters much better. We could enhance our kinetic weapons, giving us +1 base kinetic attack and a 10% kinetic attack increase. This would require us to make thulium weapons to get better stuff, though, for lighter mass. Let's have a look. Xenomedicine. I do like the medical center. I think we just will continue to increase our kinetic weapons. As we're taking a look at Nigel. Hello, I'm Nigel. Ton of food coming from here. Well, honestly, it's not that much food now that I look at it. I might be in a position to start destroying these agricultural improvements. I mean, might pop down another housing district right there. The city does not have very good production, does not have very good much of anything. So I think population, like we had kind of put together 2 and 2, was the thing to do in here. I'll build a couple of extra population districts. That will get us extra growth from the colonial clinic. And then eventually when the time comes, I will get rid of these farms as well. And then we'll figure out how we're going to specialize this base. Probably as just a general purpose citizens assembly. Ooh, the little bit of tourism makes this a money planet. Yeah, this will be a money planet. Let's kill these farms. We're going to put financial districts. Maybe not financial districts, maybe influence. Let's have a little think about that. Try to remember how tourism is calculated. We'll figure that out when we get the pollen. Tourism has always been a mechanic that I feel like the game has never explained very well. Any of the Galciv games have never explained it very well. So 40 control, I can get 50 research. That doesn't seem very good. Ooh, a lot of money though in there. This game kind of has like the classic 4X problem, which is that production is just often the best resource. And then that gets even more true the more science you have. So welcome back to Delta Ceti. We built our starport here. Let's go ahead and destroy the supply depot. We're going to move that over there. We do have the planetary generator. We're going to go ahead and delete that and scoot it over as well. And then we'll continue to retool this planet as it asks for assistance. May as well, that'll be quite expensive. So it'll take us a while to upgrade the manufacturing, but it's not a priority. So what resources come in here pretty well in Delta Ceti? Not sure. Well, let's drop the recruitment station from Tejat 1 that's feeding Delta Ceti. What do we want to do with this planet? I mean, it has okay science. It has okay money. It could be a money planet. It's not the worst thing in the world to make a money planet. So if we're making a money planet, then the planets that feed it will want to have orbital markets to give wealth. We don't need the defense matrix. Instead, they should have the space elevator to provide production so the planet can get built up to its potential faster. The planet itself should have some upgrades. The recruiting station is okay in the short term, but eventually we'll want to replace it with some of these other things too. I think a big problem with my economy right now is money, so that's what we're going to focus on. Money and production. I do like seeing all the ships move when I hit end turn and like see them travel around and do all sorts of stuff. What is this? Cruiser hull. Quick battle. So my interceptor defenders, my interceptor should actually fight pretty well because they're protected by a military starbase. So I'd be shocked if they didn't do anything. Oh wow, they just totally failed to defend that. Interesting. So Delta Ceti is filled with all these pops that we don't need. We're going to start creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a few colony ships to get rid of them. This will be a economic starbase to help this out. We aren't going to build the economic starbase yet though. We cleaned up a pirate planet, getting control of this. It's a pretty good planet. It's a 43121 planet. 58% decay. Hopefully we can fix that decay at some point. Decay is basically saying that this planet is too far from the rest of your empire, so you're not getting the full benefit of it. All right, let's see here. The most prestigious civilization location is the Luxar Dominion. They're about 7% ahead of us, which is fine. We did just get enhanced railguns. That's really nice. We could go for armor defense theory or xenomedicine. Seems like the game wants me to take xenomedicine, so I'm going to prioritize that. Let's get real close to these guys and then fire a blast at them. 0 to 20 damage. We might kill one. We did not. We did 2 damage. So we're going to take extreme casualties, but for them it'll be a total loss. We'll just let that quick battle it out. I'm hoping that I succeed. Looks like we did. And we did in fact take pretty heavy casualties, but I think that was a fair trade for me considering I'm producing one of those ships per turn. Just going through and making sure that all of my star bases are maxed out on their mining capabilities so that we can maximize our strategic resource output and thus max out our income, because we can sell off these strategic resources for income. This is a temporary thing. It's not going to work forever, but it will let us get through some pretty harsh times, and it has been letting us get through some pretty harsh times economically. Delta Ceti 1 has finished its construction queue. It needs new orders. We could build a small research area here. I think though, if I'm looking around, what do I think this planet is good at? And I think it's good at being like a generalist planet. I think I'm going to destroy the core world. I'm going to move it over to here. I'm going to destroy this wealth improvement, add a governor manor to here as well. I will destroy this factory. I will planetary convert here so I get soil. So where is what is where, who, and wow. This is going to be like a little wealth area over here. This could be a little sciencey area in and around here. Pretty sure this is like a food tile. So I'm going to place the colonial clinic here to help the place grow. Seems reasonable to me. Ooh, there's a paradise right here. That is interesting because I'm going to go ahead and destroy the capital once again. I'm going to cancel this and move it down a tile to there. Oh, but this does get me less wealth from the governor's manor. Maybe I should do it the other way around. Hold on. Make a little triangle of this. I'll cancel this because now it doesn't make sense to put it there. We'll put the planetary mainframe here to get the little bit of science. We'll delete this. This is technically a really good food area. I guess this planet does have really good base food, so it might be worth it to play to that. Especially because we have the Artocarpus orchard here that gives a lot of food. Yeah. We should put a food triangle here because that will get me a ton of food and allow me to feed my empire for days. Wealth is definitely going up here, so I'll just build off this like this. And this looks like a good start. We'll figure out the rest later, like where the sciencey sector will go. But I'm feeling pretty good about this layout. We get pretty optimal amounts of food. We get a pretty optimal housing situation. I could move this a tile. We have a pretty optimal production area. We could further optimize this based on what we wanted to do. If we wanted to completely get rid of unrest and get even more levels, we could play around with that kind of a thing. I'm not fussed about that stuff though yet. We're not there. Looks like they're getting ready to invade this planet here. I'm okay with that. I'm curious if I could piece these guys out. If I could get peace with the Luxar. So it looks like they think they're way too strong to take peace. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel building constructors, and I'm going to go back to making interceptors, but I'm going to go ahead and build a new design from the interceptor. We're going to edit this design. And I'm going to replace the Gauss cannon with a railgun, because the railgun, it's a 50% damage increase for no manufacturing cost increase. Now, if I had the thulium, in fact, I do have the thulium, but I don't need the reduced mass. Here's the thing. So I think we'll just go for basic railguns. We'll save you as the Mark 1. Bada boom, bada bing. We're done. I don't even know what the hell I was doing with this planet anymore, but welcome to Septrum. It's been doing a lot. In the meantime, we built a little sciencey area for sure. Wish this was a little bit more colored blue. That's one thing. Don't want to be building medical centers. Those are quite expensive. I mean, they provide great growth, but they're very, very expensive. Great growth buildings, don't get me wrong. We have a governor's palace here, plus a little bit of housing. I think we'll go for a little bit more cash to pay for this planet's maintenance. I'm going to start switching these guys over to citizens because citizens have a more balanced output of resources. So you can see here my cash flow should go up, as should my science. My production will go down. Actually, my production is going down a lot more than I thought it would. We lose a lot of production, but what we gain a lot of other resources is the thing. But is that enough to justify it? I think it is. I need this planet to kind of pay for itself a little, which means we no longer need to be building supply ships here. We're going to go into permanent economic stimulus. What we probably want to do first is to level up all the buildings. So like, we'll level up the recreational, the housing, and the research just to get a couple of extra levels out of it. And then we'll go into mass production of cash flow, which means we no longer need to be producing supply ships. So we're going to cancel the production of supply ships. This makes about 120 production per turn. So I think maybe like an intruder, followed by 2 ravagers. I wish I could get it to repeat this queue for me, but this is the queue that I want. Tidius 1, this planet over here, I'm going to set its rally point to Tidius itself. It makes 48 production. Can I squeeze out L frigates? No, not in a single turn. But the Interceptor M1, I could probably do 2. like this. Interceptor, interceptor, frigate, interceptor, interceptor, frigate. And then that will be what we defend this planet with. My fleets are slowly getting chewed up over the course of this war, but I am making gains. That's the thing. The most important gains being that I conquered another empire and that I basically gained all of their capabilities. I got all their planets, I got all their population, I got all their economy. They are invading this planet here, which is a bit of a problem because I have nothing in range to support. To be fair, this planet is not doing much for my economy, and I'm much more focused over here. It does mean, though, that they're focusing over here, which is a little bit worrying. So I need to pick up the combat here, which probably means the end of supply ships for this city and the beginning of the construction of like 3 intruders. Let's add some shock troopers to this fleet. Does that mean I can invade? Maybe I can invade next turn. This is a classic potato and whiskey move, by the way. We had ourselves in like a fantastic position, and then I decided to build economy, and then the enemy attacks us, and then we're in trouble. It's a classic. Look, it happens in every game that I play all the time. It's one of those things that I do, you know? I think I should focus these intruders on core worlds. So I'm going to send them straight to their core worlds. I'm not going to be focusing on these small colonies. I think these small colonies I can just take. Like the small colonies, that can be done on cleanup crew. But the things I really need to focus on are the actual core planets here. I think that has been a major failing of me, is I need to be taking out shipyards. Enemy shipyards are the key. And I think the fact that I've been focused on like cleaning up these like small crappy little planets has just been not good for me. So focus on the shipyards, focus on the core worlds, then do the cleanup crew. The Iconian refuge one piece, but I'm going to exterminate every single last one of them. We now can upgrade our research. I don't like any of these techs here, so let's have a look. Enhanced negotiation tactics. Fleet resupply doctrine would give me extra logistics, as well as the integrity cloud. Let's go for a fleet resupply doctrine. Extra logistics means bigger fleets, means more combat victories, means less rebuilding. Owned galaxy tile bonus. Is that based on this planet's influence radius? Because if so, then we need to start building some cultural districts in here and get that influence pumping. So we're getting 2 extra income in here, which really isn't much as it currently stands, but if we can get the influence pumping, maybe it'll be more. We'll see. Well, I would love to be producing supply ships in Delta Ceti to send to it to build it up. Unfortunately, I think I just have to pump out laser frigates. You know what? Maybe I should make siege ships. We're going to take the siege ship and we're going to give it a... Can we fit an enhanced railgun in there? Oh yeah, we can. We'll call that the Siege Mark III. It's got some prototype railguns. And I want you to be producing Siege Mark IIIs to help invasions. Ooh, we've got a very high diligence leader here. Incredibly high diligence leader in Bradley. Let's hire Bradley. And with this incredibly high diligence, we'll be able to make him a commander of this fighter ship right here, which gets increased hit points based on the diligence and increased attack based on his resolve. So if we put him in command of this ship will now appear by our capital, I assume. Yep, there it is. The Swift Courage. It's a commander ship, so it can level up. It's got a ton of kinetic attack. It's got pretty decent shields too. Like pretty good defenses. It's got a little bit of conquest rating. It's got a little bit of hit points. Oh man, the commander's adding 24 hit points to this ship. That is crazy good. That is awesome. So the goal is to try to keep this thing alive and fighting. That's going to be one of our first command ships. I would like another command ship. This guy has incredible diligence, but not very good other stats. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my executive orders and I'm going to invite new leaders. This does have a cooldown, but it'll add a whole bunch of people who will be an option. This next ship, the Cannon Quake, gets increased hit points based on the commander's diligence, but the increased attack based on commander's resolve is a little bit more important for this one because it has such a high thing. Actually, I kind of wish I'd maybe put this guy here. Can I take you off? No. Yeah, his extremely high resolve would have been amazing on that ship. This guy's 14-13. That's like pretty damn good. I'm going to take him. I'm going to put him in charge of the Cannon Quake. And that should get the Cannon Quake like a 65% damage increase with a like, who knows, health increase. And now we also have the Cannon Quake here as a commander ship. It's getting a plus 14 hit point bonus from the commander and a 65% damage increase. So it has 85 kinetic attack, which is an absurd. Completely absurd. We can wait one more month before we drop this attack on these guys. It's a little scary. We have more DPS than them. The scary ship here is the cruiser. So I'm going to wait a turn to see if we can make that work. Convert my population to soldiers on this planet too. See if that buys me another month. Nah, it doesn't. It's fine. Tidiest has a construction cube, but it is kind of under siege, so I don't even know if it's even worth really talking about. I mean, I do also need to build a starport. Yeah, let's destroy this improvement. We'll drop the starport right there. That's a +4 starport. Really good. It's fantastic, in fact. This is meant to be a good money planet, and it is making okay money. Our deficit is slowly decreasing. We're now only losing 30 cash per month. Ah, shoot. They actually landed. All right. Let's see what we can do. Okay, first things first. We drop the Betatron Collider on these guys to take out a quarter of their hit points. We close to battle range. We drop a beam on them. Boom. It might be able to take out a small ship. Then we hit them in melee with our extremely quick strike craft. Mission accomplished. Then we retreat to the starbase where we hide and wait for an opportunity to strike and retake Tydeus. I'm gonna need to rally a fleet over there. Let's like rifle through our stacked ships here. Disband this fleet. We're gonna take one intruder and 3 ravagers in a fleet. And then we're going to take them all the way over here to counter invade. It'll take a while for them to get there, but that's not a big deal. When it comes to my capital, we've built an insane amount of modules. God, do I just make this a science world? It seems like maybe that should be what I should be doing. No, I must resist the temptation. The science world is Arbaku. I'm going to delete this and I will build Khazar's mainframe right there. We're going to start the process of deleting all of these and replacing them with research districts that are a relatively high level. It'll be a process, but we will eventually get this planet up to, you know what? Let's get the process started right now. We're going to put the technological capital in there. Khazar's mainframe actually gets a lot of research per level. That's +5 right there compared to the +1% from research districts. Technically, I should put it towards the center. It's not a big deal. It's fine. We'll miss out on a little bit of research from that. All right, we took over Phoenicia. We're going to do the same with Phoenicia 1. Looks like one of our fleets got caught out here on the way to conquer New Iconia. Let's have a look. We only dealt 9 damage. Why was our damage dealt so bad? What were we up against? A lot of kinetic attack fighters. Let's invade Arkab. Prior, this is a core world of the Kryn Syndicate, and we instantly take it because we have the special technology for invader ships. We can also then instantaneously assign a governor to this world, although we don't have anyone with high enough loyalty to where it would be a good idea. But for the sake of making it work, I will grab Charles Laranth here. I'll go straight for the governor's manor to try and keep him happy. Let's see if we can't increase approval. Now, when it comes to the shipyard, we're going to immediately try to build another intruder to replace the one we just spent. And then we're going to go and see if we can establish a perimeter around New Iconia. Planet Nigel is now under threat from the Luxar Dominion, so I'm probably going to want to try to protect that. I'm a little bit worried about this. We do have a bubble of influence protruding out of Arkab prior, but it's really going to be all about whether or not we can take New Iconia. That's going to be the turning point for this war, because then we can turn the power of the Kryn and the Korath against the Luxar. They have taken over the power by taking over that planet, but that's fine. We're still deep in the throes of warfare. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that intruder. Instead, I'm going to tell you to mass produce laser frigates. Let's destroy a housing improvement here. Boom. And instead, we're going to add a medical center. This is one of the few planets where I really need that growth. That extra growth adds up to a lot here. There's fleet resupply doctrine, so we're up to another +8 logistics, which is fantastic. Could go for interstellar resupply doctrine and get even more logistics and create even larger fleets that might be able to overwhelm our enemies with sheer firepower, which is kind of something that appeals to me. So I'm going to go for that. I like the idea of larger fleets that are capable of sustaining combat for a long time. Right, we've taken over the 2 Phoenicias. Now, this military starbase is protecting New Iconia, so we might need to take it out. The problem is it's a total loss if we attack it. Maybe we can soften it up with our troops first before we go into combat. I would consider this fleet a little bit more expendable than this fleet, but what if I combined them and now neither of them is expendable, and we can blast this military starbase down and kill it fast enough to where we take only light casualties. Just formed a new fleet with the Swift Courage at the helm. Sorry, told you a lie there. I formed a fleet with the, what's his name at the helm? The Cannon Quake. So he does a lot of damage. We're going to send him down towards New Iconia as well. Looks like it could be a total loss on both sides. We'll see how this comes for us. We did manage to win both of those battles, actually, believe it or not. The Thalan contingency has been destroyed, so people are being murdered out there. Civilizations are falling. I mean, we killed a civilization this game. That's something to keep in mind. I wonder how quickly we can conquer Nyquist. Probably should be like a 2-monther. Moderate casualties, really? From a small cruiser. All right, let's quick battle it, and hopefully my siege ships survive. Yep. 3 months to take that planet. Take those planets with the siege ships. Focus on taking the core worlds with the other ones. So Delta Ceti 1 has got a construction queue. Man, I want to pump production into this, but I think I just need so many ships. I'm going to get you to make me interceptors combined with laser frigates. I just need so many ships. And I've been neglecting my ship construction for a while now. I'm finally starting to see ships flow across the galaxy once again. We are losing 45 cash per turn, but we have a lot of Durantium to sell thanks to focusing on mining capabilities. Yeah, here come their invasion fleets. They're coming. So we need to be ready to deal with those. They're going to start hitting our resupply lines, so we need to kill the Iconians fast. All right, we formed a new fleet. These ones need to be ready to go fight off these intruders into our space, I guess. We just got an artifact that gives +2 technology to a planet, and the perfect place to put that is in Arbaku, because this is where we plan to build our tech world. In fact, building the tech world is well underway. The technology in here is starting to climb as we continue to get more and more multipliers. We would like these guys to be trained as scientists in an ideal world so that they provide base research. So right now 1.79, I trained this guy as a scientist. He's only a level 4 scientist. Now it's 178. You can see we're getting that +2 from scientists. This does cripple our manufacturing, but with all these multipliers, this will lead to a better science situation. And Lord knows, science wins you games. Okay, thankfully, they have invaded one of my planets that was covered in colony ships that I super did not care about, so hopefully that just got rid of all those pops for me. We conquered Nyquist to make a move on New Iconia. It's got to be the place that we move to. We're forming a fleet now nearly every single turn, but they are catching our Ravagers out in the open. 2 intruders ready to hit New Iconia. We've taken out the defensive military starbase. There's 2 cruisers around the planet. Light casualties, total loss. Boom. We take out the defenders. Hopefully our intruders survive. We don't have the movement, but hopefully we can invade it next turn. We got our very first Illyrium mine, which is super awesome. Let's make sure we get that maximized on the mining front, so we get 0.4 per turn. But been a long time waiting to get some Illyrium. Oh, they're going for my Enforcer. Shoot. Well, they took him out. I forgot that I had other kinds of infrastructure in this area that would be vulnerable to attack. Enemies will take a total loss. We will take light casualties. That is the hope. And that was the reality. We just invaded the Iconian capital, completely eviscerating not only their military, but their entire civilization. All of their former planets will now flip to being pirates, and all of their ships will flip to being pirates as well. That will mean we have just created a much more hostile world, but we also knocked a very important character out who is on the way to our success. And now we just need to beeline for some of these Luxar core worlds. There's a core world down here, there's a core world down here, there's a core world, there's a core world. Let's have a look. How do we actually measure up with these guys? If I go to diplomacy and I look at the Luxar Dominion, they have more military power, they have more faction power, they have better technology score, they have worse manufacturing, they have better economic, better research rate, better sector ownership score, more population. Oh, I totally forgot about galactic challenges being a thing. So these are things you can do to try to like get extra points to finish the game sooner. I'm going to go ahead and choose the Against the Tide galactic challenge. So all civilizations will declare war on us for 88 months. I am super on board with Against the Tide. Total war has been declared. We have taken out another player. We're also counterattacking and retaking lost land like Tidius. But this game really does give you that epic, I'm playing in a massive universe, and because like realistically, this is just one sector. I've been fighting over 1/2 of one sector in a giant universe. And I think there's at least 3 more sectors that I know of. There's logistics +12, so we can have much bigger fleets now. Artificial intelligence would give us a 5% research boost. I'm going to take that. That 5% research boost could be quite a lot. I'm going to set economic stimulus to be the repeat function in my capital. That'll get us about 25 credits per turn, which will ease off the debt ceiling that we're bumping up against. All right, let's have a look. Delta Ceti fleet. We're still developing, I think, a response to the current situation. Can these fleets be combined? They cannot. However, if I disband and I reform everything, I can figure out who the odd one out is and then reform it as a single fleet with a leftover ship. And then I'll take this 10 stack on the offensive. Oh, they just conquered back New Iconia. Well, when I say conquered back, they conquered New Iconia from me, which messed up the influence here. So we'll retake this, we'll get ourselves situated, and we'll try to set up some kind of offensive here. Let's invite new leaders. This way we can get full control over New Iconia with somebody who might have slightly good loyalty, like Tim Larenth. I don't really care what his stats are. I just want him to have good loyalty, and that will get us all of these juicy resources in here and allow us to grow new citizens to replace the people that we basically took out. And then we can use the planet's own production to build the interceptors that will defend it. At least that's the plan. This way we can move on with our lives effectively and start preparing for other invasions and other battles. Like really the sort of the big bad guy of this playthrough is the Luxar Dominion. They ran away with the game and have been just such a massive thorn in my side. If we can beat them in the next episode, it's going to, I think, solidify my victory. We also have a potential prestige victory coming up. I don't know how long it'll be, but it can't be that long. One thing we should definitely do is go to the Galactic Bazaar, sell off a good chunk of our Durantium, because it looks like a lot of people are buying it, sell off a little bit of our Promethean. Thulium just seems to be readily available across the universe. Then we're going to use our money to go to the leader screen. We're going to go to the factions, and I think the thing that we would like is if we could buff up the warrior cast a little bit, that'd be kind of cool. So he gave another 6% to the hit points of our ships. That's pretty damn good. These low loyalty guys, let's have a look. What if I put you in here, here, or here? So in here, this guy will give us like a 6%, maybe 8% production boost. And that seems like a really good use of him considering he's a low loyalty guy and we don't actually want him doing anything of importance. I'm going to put another guy over here to get even more ship hit points. And this is kind of the plan. This is what we're planning to do with any of the leaders that we can't really make use of as governors, even though we have planets that we would like to govern. Just the base loyalty on these guys is like so low that it doesn't seem worth it. And we can start now pumping up our ship production, we can pump up our regular production, we can pump up our ship hit points. Pretty soon we will get cultural progression to spend on other things. I don't think I'm going to go for purges or secret police or conscription. I think I might try to move into nihilism. Or maybe even traditionalism, because there's actually a decent number of my population that has the traditional culture, although my discount for that is really low. Whereas I have a little bit of nihilism discount. I don't know, we'll see what we do. But speaking of New Iconia, welcome to New Iconia. We're going to have to retool this whole thing because it's all sorts of messed up. I'm also going to spend a little bit of time going through every single starbase I have and getting better scanners on them. This is purely just so we have that slight increase on the visual control of the map, because honestly, having gotten those probes, that was huge for my military, being able to see where ships were coming from, being able to plan for things. And not only that, but just knowing where I was going when plunging my troops wildly into enemy territory was super helpful. So this vision range stuff is really nice. It's very expensive on the modules. I just spent nearly 30 modules and I haven't even finished the list, which means I should probably come back to Korath and queue up a whole bunch of modules. There's artificial general intelligence giving us a 5% research boost. That's very nice. Let's unlock fusion power plants because that will help with our production capabilities. My starport is currently here, but it only has a +2. I'm going to start moving things to be adjacent to it, like the planetary generator. Let's destroy the starport. We'll place the starport here. We'll destroy the Durantium processor. The Durantium processor will be moved here as well. So that will surround all of this, and then that will be a +8 starport. So that's going to be the beginning. Get the shipyard production and the production up first, and then we'll worry about other things. So set all of these guys as workers. We got to pump up that production. Let's go ahead and disband these two fleets and then reconvene them as a single fleet. And then we'll create this as a fleet and try to find it a friend to go join. We're doing a lot of like fleet consolidation because the more your troops are concentrated, in my opinion, the better. But yeah, I think on the eve of the potential conclusion to this mega war, I'm going to call that the end of the game. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.